What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be going over 5 different top of the route moves that all wide receivers need to learn. So these are moves that you guys can use on digs, posts, curls, comebacks, pretty much any route on the route tree to be able to get you separation. So hope is able to help you out. Let's get started. Now, the first move we're going to be going over, fellas, is going to be something called a box cut. So for each one of these moves, I'm going to give an explanation of the technique, talk about how to perform the move, and then I'm going to show you guys a full speed example of the move so you guys can kind of get a better idea of it. So this first move, like I said, is called a box cut. I've heard some receiver coaches refer to this as a square cut. I feel like a square cut is more of like a 2-step break. So you want to use this strictly, I would say, on dig routes. Some people like to use this on out routes, but generally out routes are timing routes, right? So from a quarterback perspective, like an out route, I'm taking a 3-step drop and I'm letting this thing go because it's a route towards the sideline. I'm never going to throw a route towards the sideline late, so I don't like using this type of move on an outside breaking route. I like using it on a dig because generally that's a longer developing route, or I guess you could say the quarterback might come back to that second or third read, so you have more time to work a move. So a lot of people refer to this as a square cut. In my terminology, a square cut is like a 2-step break. So you're coming up to this cone, let's say that's like a dig, I got to break this way towards the quarterback, and a square cut is a 2-step break and you're just getting out of this. So a box cut, we call it a box cut, as in a box, like you want to think of it like there's 4 corners of a box cut, and there's really 4 specific steps that we are going to be taking on this cut. So the first 2 are like the square cut. You're going to be dropping your hips. So you want to snap down with the foot and the direction you are going first. So if I'm going to the inside, I want to snap down with my inside foot, and then my second foot brings me to balance. So it's snap down 1, 2, so I'm bursting up 1, 2, and then the second part of this cut is going to be a crossover 3, 4. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to get a DB who's maybe an off coverage, a safety who's an off coverage, to bite in the opposite direction. So I'm going up, I drop down 1, 2, 3, 4 to try to leave him in the opposite direction and then go back. Could you use this if you're going up against press man? Absolutely. So let's say I got a DB who's like, let's say he's inside shade and I have to run a dig. I give him a move, I take an outside release, he's trailing behind me. I could easily go 1, 2, 3, 4 to try to leave him in the opposite direction and then go. Now, with this box cut, there's got to be a little tempo to it. You don't want to just go 1, 2, 3, 4 and rush it. It's almost like you snap down 1, 2, slow yourself down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to show you how that should look full speed. But a box cut is a great move that you guys can use on a longer developing dig route. Remember, we don't like it on an out route as it will sacrifice timing with your QB. Now, before we show you that route move full speed, fellas, if you are a wide receiver or even a quarterback and you're watching this video and you would like to train with myself and my staff of coaches, we are going to be traveling out to 7 more cities across the entire U.S. for 2-day long QB and wide receiver training camps this off season, fellas. So guys, if you'd like to sign up, go to that very first link in the description below. That's where you can get the information, how you guys can attend, and where we will be going to. Next up on our camp tour, we'll be coming out to Newark, New Jersey. Then we'll be heading out to Birmingham, Alabama, Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas is completely sold out though, you guys. Then we'll be heading out to Boston, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio is completely sold out, you guys. Then we'll be finishing off our tour in Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So guys, if you want to sign up, we only have about 3 to 4 spots remaining in each one of those camps that has availability. So guys, make sure you take advantage of this opportunity. Very first link in that description below. We'd love to have you there. We limit spots just simply because we want each athlete to get individualized coaching and reps, and we can't do that if we have 1 million people there, you guys. So if you want to come to one of our camps, again, very first link in that description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, the next move, fellas, that we're going to be discussing is something called a rocker step. So this rocker step that we're going to be going over right now, we're going to go over another variation of a rocker step in a second, but this rocker step is going to be used for posts and corners. So what is a rocker step? It's like think of it like a crossover for all you guys that play basketball. Think of it like you're dribbling a basketball and you're doing a 1, 2, almost like a crossover at the top of the route. But we like this specific one on post and corners. So if I'm running a post, let's say the quarterback is over here to my left, normally on a post route, what would I do? I would just cut off of my outside foot and then break to the post. But on a rocker step post, you want to step in the direction you are going first to make the defender think that you're running an opposite route, which would be a corner. So what I would do, instead of just cutting off of my outside foot, you'd start the break a step sooner. You would do a 1, 2 to try to get that defender to bite to the outside and then cut back to the post. So the mechanics of this move, and again, we'll show this move full speed in a second. The first step of this, where you're stepping in the direction you're going. It's not a big step. A lot of people try to do this really big step and their feet get super wide and their hips aren't able to move. A DB in man coverage, off man, press man, like catch man, whatever it is, his eyes are gonna be on your hips. So we have to be able to sell the move with our hips. So the first step needs to be almost a step down. You're running and it's a hard step down so I could push. We want this foot to be underneath my shoulder so I can push, so my hip, my head can go with my foot on the second part of the cut, because that's what sells it. Remember, we're trying to make it look like a corner or an out route or whatever. So remember guys, we are running up, it's going to be just a simple 1-2 to push to the outside, and then we come back to our post or vice versa on the corner. Now, when can we use this? You can use this generally versus any coverage. If you have off man, you run to the DB and do it. Let's say you have to run a post, you have a guy who's like head up coverage, give him a move, inside release, now he's trailing you, 1-2, you have him go this way, so you can work it against press, zone, off man. Gonna show you how this thing should look, full speed. Now, the next move we're gonna be going over, you guys, is the same type of move, so it's still a rocker step, but this is gonna be used on out routes and dig routes. So it's gonna be more of a lateral rocker step. So the rocker step, like I guess you could say the foot placement of it can change based on the route that we are running or based on the route that we are trying to sell. So like, let's say for example, we just talked about using a rocker step on a post, right? So if I have to run a post, my first step is here. Now a post is a 45-degree angle cut. So my cut needs to be at a 45-degree angle. I take my first step here, second step's on a 45, so I could push and open up to the 45-degree angle so I don't lose any speed. Now, if I'm running a dig or an out, that's more of a 90-degree break, right? It's like a sharper angle. So you take the same first step on the rocker step, but you don't push at an angle to maintain your stride and to maintain the break. You step and you push flat. So your hip still goes, your head still goes, you still step far on the second step, but it's a different angle. So now when I get out of this break, I can push right back flat. So same thing, if you have a guy stacked, if he's in off coverage, it's the same type of move, same type of crossover, same idea, it's just the step placement is a little bit different. So we're gonna show you how this should look on a dig route, but remember, this would be used for digs and outs. The original rocker step where you're more stepping on a 45, that would be for posts and corners. So this next move we're going to be discussing, you guys, is going to be something called a Hezy burst, okay? So you would use this, you can use this in a couple different situations, but mainly it's for off-man coverage when the DB's leverage is to the side that you are breaking. So if you were running, like, let's say a post or a dig, let's say this blue cone is our line of scrimmage and our starting point, and let's say that green cone right there is where the DB is. So 7 yards away, inside shade off-man, and you have to run a post. Or it could be you're lined up here, DB's outside leverage 7 to 8 yards away, and you have to run an out route or a corner route. So the goal of this is to get the DB to open up his hips and flip. So like, how would you run, just like without thinking about the move, the Hezy burst, how would you guys run a post route? If you were at that blue cone and the DB was sitting here, what you would do is you would run right at his outside shoulder with speed, and you would be pushing vertical. You'd be trying to sell vertical to get this DB to open up and turn so you could cut back underneath him, especially if your route is only like maybe 8 to 10 yards. Because think about it, if he's at 7, some of you might think, well, wouldn't I stem him inside, outside release, and try to stack him? Yeah, maybe if your route was like 15 yards away, but if it's at like 10, 7 to 10 yards, it's too close together to work to be able to stack. So we have to attack a shoulder. Same thing, if he's outside leverage and you have to run an out route, you're going right at his outside shoulder to flip him so you can cut back underneath. We're not trying to do the stem to the inside. A lot of receivers try to do this. They'll come off here and they stem, try to give a move and cut. But if that DB's good, if he sucks, it's one thing. But if he's good, what he's gonna do is he's gonna keep his leverage, and then your post route's gonna be way the hell on the other side of the field. And we obviously can't have that happen. So how do we do this Hezy burst? So it's essentially gonna be a double step on your inside foot to make him believe more that we're running a fade. Because sometimes disciplined DBs, what we'll do, so we'll come off the ball, is set go, and we put our head down and go. Disciplined guys are like, well, if he's actually running a fade, he's probably not just gonna try to run outside because I'm inside leverage. What's he gonna do? He's probably gonna attack me inside first and then go outside. So that's kind of what we wanna do, but we're gonna use something like more of a tempo change with that Hezy skip. So that's the Hezy into the burst. So what you would do to try to slow him down, you would burst up, and then on your inside foot, doesn't have to be on a specific step, but I would say when you're about 2 to 3 yards away from him, instead of just 1, 2, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go 1, 1, then burst up. And you're gonna burst up to the depth of your route. So you're gonna go 0, lull him to sleep, 100 at the outside shoulder, get him to flip and then cut, because that's actually how you would run a fade versus that specific coverage. So I'm gonna go through like half speed real quick, and then we'll show you the full speed example. But we come off here, it's like an inside stem, skip, 1, 2, 3 to the outside, get him to flip open and cut back underneath. So I'm gonna show you how this should look full speed. This Hezy burst is great when you have to run a route versus off-man coverage to the DB's leverage. So this next move we're going to be discussing, you guys, is going to be something called a vertical set. So this is a move that you would use when you have to run a fade route versus a DB who is in zone coverage. Tougher, like I guess you could say, route situation for a lot of wide receivers, but that's why we're going over it. So this is going to be our starting point, this green cone. So I want to give you guys the behind angle on this. And that blue cone is like where the DB would be. So like 7 to 8 yards away, outside leverage, his stance is probably going to be something like this, facing towards the inside. So how would we run a fade route versus that coverage? Obviously on fades, we want to work to get to the outside. There are some situations where maybe you could take an inside release on a fade, but generally you want to get to the outside, just because you never know if you have, well, you do know on a playbook, but in a playbook, you might have routes that are coming back towards the sideline, like a 5-yard out, a 10-yard out, and we can't take an inside release and let the corner run with us, but also have eyes on my slot. That's generally would be considered like a mandatory outside release look. So a vertical set is a lot like a rocker step, but it's just one step. So what you would do is you're going to close the space with this DB and you're going to attack his near hip. So if he's facing you like this, you are going straight at his hip. And we're trying to close the distance the best we possibly can. So we're going to be closing the distance with the DB. And then as soon as we get to like right about his hip, right about his toes, you're going to throw a hard fake to the inside to try to sell like we're doing a post. And our goal is to get him to try to crash down so I can slip behind him and be able to stack and run my fade. It's super important, you guys, because this DB, when he's playing in zone coverage, his eyes are to the inside and he's either reading the quarterback or his eyes are going to be on the number 2 wide receiver. So he's not necessarily looking at us. So we have to enter his line of vision. So I don't want to go up to him and just give this like quick little move here and then try to slip outside. I want to give this move where I'm trying to enter his line of vision. I'm stepping far with this vertical set step, hips, shoulders, everything is looking like I'm running a post, because that's what's going to get him to crash down. So we're going to show you how this release should look full speed. Best, or not release, but best move that you can use when you're running a fade versus zone coverage. Now also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver watching this and you guys would like a daily workout schedule that you can follow to improve in the gym and on the field, check out that second link in the description below for our Elite Ultimate Wide Receiver Training Package. It is 2 months worth, guys, like where we break it down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all of that, of gym workouts and field workouts for receivers. We give you video examples of each drill, how it should be performed. We give you the exact sets and reps. Really, everything is done for you. All you have to do is perform the exercises and perform the drills, and you are going to improve your skills. So if you want to get better route running, releases, catching, get faster, get more explosive, we give you the tools to do that. So if you guys would like that, fellas, you would like to get on our Elite Wide Receiver Training Package, go to that second link in the description below. We'd love to help you out.